Aloha, y'all. It is Wednesday, Woden's Day. Odin's Day named after Odin. Woden, Wednesday, the 23rd of July. The sun has entered Leo, so it's Leo season now. The moon is in Cancer. We'll reference the astrology as we go. Jupiter and the moon are conjunct. Stuff like that. But let's go ahead and look at the cards we pulled on this Woden's Day. It's a Mercury roll day, also esoterically, I should say. We got the Five of Pentacles, we got the Knight of Pentacles, and then we've got the Horse for freedom. So if you're a Pentacle, you are an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, and it's the material things that we all have embodiment. The Knight of Pentacles is the fiery part of... Oops, what am I looking at? Five of Pentacles, not the Knight yet. Five of Pentacles is as follows. I'm a little Mercury retrograde. I'm all over the place. Jeez. So, Five of Pentacles. Examining your own relationship with poverty, looking for disowned treasure within yourself, fear of not being enough for anyone. On page 170, the Five of Pentacles, I am desperate and destitute. We can go through life unaware of the astounding beauty and miraculous things which surround us, right there for us to reach out and touch. We rush past a beautiful flowering tree, completely oblivious to its rich and fecund display. We bicker with those we love, unaware of this moment of aliveness, of being conscious in this life, and that it's so fleeting and precious. So many fail to see the wonder which sits within their grasp. Because of this, they experience a deep poverty of awareness, lack of time, lack of support, lack of money, lack of resources, when in truth there is no lack, there's just a lack of awareness. I'm reminded of the wisdom story of the beggar sitting on a box by the side of the road, begging for 30 years until a passing stranger suggests he open it. When he does, he discovers it is filled with gold. Uranus and Gemini, trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. It's like genius through communication and shifting of your mindset. In the artwork of the Five of Pentacles, two characters are crouched, begging for food. They are positioned in front of the Garden of Eden, outcast from paradise, and yet only separated by a slender barbed wire fence. It is well within their reach. The two realities exist side by side, but from the side of lack, they are blinded to the possibility. It's the cup half empty kind of situation. The figures are slowly disappearing into the graffiti-covered boards. Soon they will recede from view, becoming just another part of the mean streets. The Five of Pentacles asks us to look for our own disowned treasure, while also referring to the very real hypocrisy and unfairness the world offers up. You know, who are you? Sun and Leo. Mercury retrograding in Leo is like, where is my heart? Why do I not feel valuable? Where am I putting all my chips? Maybe I shouldn't think this way about myself. Misery and suffering sit alongside vast wealth and opulence. Millions upon millions of people who must survive and support their families in so little, while others have so much. Inequality, isolation, segregation, and ignorance play out around us every single day, and we must decide how we wish to be in the face of this. One of people's greatest fears is to be cast out of their homes, their families, their tribe, and live on the street impoverished, right? We can be emotionally sensitive to that as a self. Sun in Leo, Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer. We're like, I just want to feel safe and secure at home. That fear can compel them to generate riches at any cost, while others remain caught in a trap of poverty, unable to escape. It can keep you trapped in a fruitless relationship or move you to create extraordinary things and help many others along the way. It's really a matter of how you spin the particle. The card invites you to consider your own relationship with the issue of poverty, inequality, and unfairness. It also suggests that you acknowledge and actively seek out the phenomenal abundance all around you, feeling it as part of your own being. Traveling to various parts of the world in tremendous poverty and experiencing a lack of bitterness and open generosity, while conversely living in one of the wealthiest parts of London and seeing such a lack of generosity, life lived behind closed gates, made me deeply question my own fears around poverty and isolation. To live with an open heart, Sun and Leo, Moon and Cancer, and generous spirit no matter what the circumstance is a powerful practice, one which carries the possibility to transform the world we experience. Uranus and Gemini trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So examining your own relationship with poverty, looking for disowned treasures within you, fear of not being enough for anyone. And with it being Leo season now, we can be very self-conscious, self-critical with Mercury retrograding in Leo. We're like, why does it not feel like I'm going to be picked for varsity football player? I want to throw the ball, and you got to go out and try. where am I going? Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. You got to go out and try for the team, even if you don't make the team. You should try. Shoot your shot. The Knight of Pentacles is the clarifying card. On page 94, I consistently create my empire, right? Mars and Virgo. We're trying to refine and hone in a grounded way, perfected way. This is the fiery part of Earth, the actionable part of embodiment. Map out your plan for the phases of your life, very Mars and Virgo, Venus and Gemini. Develop systems in keeping your passions intact. Leo, Sun now, right? How do we keep that fire alive? Developing patience, Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, Mars and Virgo. Enjoying the journey you are on. Sun in Leo, Venus and Gemini. So I think the idea is the cup isn't half empty, but we can tend to program ourselves for various reasons to think that. And we need to go out there and shoot our shot and defend our kingdoms and make our moves. And if we do it from a certain position of mindset, it's going to be much more challenging and much more deflating, right? We need to say, hey, YOLO, I got one life to live and I'm going to go make my mark on the world, even if we don't feel like we have enough. You can't just wait until you have $1 million to, go out in the street and participate, right? So we need to get out of our hiding safe zones or negative mindsets. Though they have a service at some level, we don't want to dwell there, and we want to make a mark on the world through our actions in an embodied way. The the wild card, a whole lot of Mercury retrograde going on. I'm misspeaking and reading weird and all that stuff. The wild card is the horse on page 93, number 24. Freedom. To be truly free, we must learn true independence. Sun and Leo, who are you? How do you shine as a self? Trust yourself, as listening to people who may have other agendas is not the way to make good, clear decisions. Mercury retrograding in Leo. How are you informing yourself with the opinions of others and yourself? Individuation from our parents is a natural process, although it has also been fraught with difficulty on both sides. Your true power resides in your ability to always know you have a point of a choice point, and it is yours to make, right? We can sit there, oops, almost dropped all the cards. We could sit there and pout, or we can go out there and take actions. Either way, when we take actions, our mindset really affects how we play on the battlefield of life. So the magic of the horse. Horse magic is profoundly free and powerful. To ride a horse at full gallop is to experience a sacred bolt of the most primal liberty. When you feel trapped or small, Five of Pentacles, when you feel trapped or small, expand your field by calling in their energy. There's also a long history in physical and mental healing with horse energy. Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, we can heal. Mars in Virgo. And this can be used when you are ill or unstable. Horse energy invokes a calm, solid presence and can be used to quiet your spirit if you're feeling disturbed. Right? And with Mercury retrograding in Leo, we can feel a little like, who am I? What am I doing here? Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to be a millionaire and I don't even have $1. So we need to understand why our lack mentality is occurring and not just sit there and accept it beyond a point, right? We've got to make moves, but we don't want to have a negative mindset, a cup half empty mindset. That's not going to allow for freedom. When we accept things as they are and then see where we can take actions, Mars and Virgo and Venus and Gemini, we can play with life in a different way. It creates a level of freedom so we can shine as ourselves. See how radiant this horse is. Sun in Leo. And that's the most nurturing thing you can do for yourself. Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer. Think of it as your active service for yourself and others, Mars and Virgo. So hopefully this has made sense. If it has, tag somebody, share it, whatever's clever. Leave a tip if you feel like it. Holler for readings. 3 hours of astrology is $150. An hour of cards is $50. If it's your birthday, you get half off on either or both. And if you refer somebody to me, you get half off on cards. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast, episode 321 with Arabella Tace. Very interesting character and a conversation worth checking out. So I'll post that in the comments. If you've never heard a podcast, check it out. 321 episodes. We've had her on. We've had him on a few times. A lot of cool people. But ultimately, your mindset is creating your reality. Be aware of that. Go out there, make your mark. Feel free to do so and be yourself, but also it's a refining process. So it is a process, and you got to be gracious and compassionate with yourself and others along the way, as they say. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a beautiful Woden's Day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios.